this is the handoff. This is what, as a board, we wanted to see, not practice go away, but to flourish again and under somebody else's hands and love for them and the love of Christ. I was in the technology industry after I graduated from UC Berkeley, and stayed in the technology business until I was 50, I guess, or something like that. And that's all I knew. I flew all over the place, and so the intersection happened a little bit there because I was in China, I was in all the different foreign countries, I was in Thailand, and I saw these young children working on the production lines, you know, in all their little white garbs and their white hats, etc. You I can't tell ages over there, especially if they're wearing all that, but I became, a little awareness kind of stung me going, wow, this is, you know, because in American, we don't have children on production lines at all. All right, they have nothing but children. As a matter of fact, one of our production facilities housed 4,500 children, fed them. All right, they worked there, they slept there, everything, and the money they took and sent back to their parents, you know, throughout China.
Wow.
So that was a thing that happened. But when I came back from one of those sojourns, I went to church with a buddy of mine because they were putting together plans for what they were going to do in 2014, all right, in terms of the different ministries that they were going to do, and he invited me in. And as I'm sitting there, a lady 3 rows ahead of me said she rose her hand, I'm behind her, way behind her, and she said she wanted to stop child trafficking. And I looked at my buddy and I go, what did she say? And I repeated the words. Well, I talked to her for all of a minute because that's probably all I could sustain at that time, because I've never heard those words put together. I couldn't think about it here in Texas. That's just outside my sphere of influence. But growing up in the tech industry as an executive, there's a lot of things that happen around you. This one was outside the park. I get in my car and I'm driving home. It's a Saturday, as I said, and I received a call. And I was told, I want you to stop child trafficking, not go fix it, stop it. That was the word that was used. I get home and I tell my wife, I said, she said, well, how was the meeting? I said, it was great. I said, I got a call on the way back home. She goes, who called? I said, he did. And she knew what I meant. And she turned around and said, what did he say? He said, to stop child trafficking. My wife and I have never talked about that. All she did is she looked at me and she said, you need to be obedient to his word. That was it. End of technology life. I started reading and learning and just trying to grasp what was going on and going online, and then my eyes got, you know, peeled back. I had to know what I was supposed to do. He told me what I was supposed to do, but I didn't know how to go do that. And because in my business, I built partnerships and stuff like that with different companies, like you've interviewed Cisco. That would be one of my typical go-tos, to talk to having a partnership with them. And so I started thinking about that, and I came up with, again, his words hit me, Partners Against Child Trafficking. Well, that made sense. I just didn't know what the child trafficking was. So I went to another friend of mine, and he said, you want to know about it? Why don't you talk to my secretary? Well, I went, what? So I talked to her, and Cindy told me that she had been trafficked. She had been trafficked in Indiana as a child, and then later on, after in her 20s, etc. It was hard for me to just take that in. I didn't know how to start it. All I knew is I needed to know all about it, because I got to be all in, you know, for him, right, and just learn everything I can. And I saw there was different people that were doing, it was just 10 years ago, that's the beginning of some organizations would start, coincidentally, right, and go and want to stop it or take care of those children that had been abused. And I hadn't seen any abused children, but I wanted, he said, stop it. Not go fix it, stop it. So I took that hint, and Started talking to a lot of different people and talking at the church and talking to students, which, hey, I'm a dad and I've got 3 grown kids and so they didn't want to talk about it for sure. And in my research, I found out how abhorrent it was, $150 billion industry. All cash, folks, all right, no taxes taken out on that. And it was so prevalent. The University of Texas had just finished doing a study and they found out that in Texas alone, there's 79,000 children being trafficked. And I'm going, that's a low number. It isn't, that isn't, somebody, you looked, that's a low number. Anyhow, so I continued doing that and I made presentations at churches like this one and other ones around. And one of the ladies there introduced me to her son and daughter and said, I want to have you speak at the school. I was the baccalaureate speaker for the school, and then I was hooked. I looked at all these kids' eyes, and I told them what I did. And there was a couple of wet eyes in the group,
sure,
indicating some, interest level on or something that happened to them. Working with the students became water. I haven't talked to students since I had talked to my own kids like that. Yeah. And to be a part of their lives, first of all, I was not exactly wanted on campus because of...
Totally.
All right. As a matter of fact, I was kicked off the Anderson High School just right down the road here because I was talking about child trafficking. There was 18 students on that campus that were all talking about it, and they kicked them off campus, and I had to get the church across the street to go talk about it. But what happened there is I learned how I was going to do this. It was the kids.
Yeah.
That was the medium of exchange, and all they needed was the information. So we just did a deep dive into the information. I started bringing kids on board and going through this, and pretty soon we came out with a high school course.
Yeah.
And it was designed by students. I found a school that said, we're in, just like you talked to Erin.
Yeah.
She did the same thing for the adult series, but it was an amazing deal. We filmed it all at church, and then it went on and was recorded at a high school in Jacksonville, and I was just on fire watching these kids. That was my nourishment, seeing the reaction, because there was reaction of, I don't know about this, I don't want to know about this, I know a friend of mine, there's always a friend of mine, and they got involved in it. And then we produced the lower school, I mean not lower school, but for middle schools. And we thought we were okay, and we did the college courses. One of the things about the college courses, on our website you'll see Callum Harrelson. He's just one of the students, like you've talked to Charity. These kids are just the things that help feed me and make me, I look at Charity and I go, there's a woman that is just passionate. She taught 1,400 students on her own school church. I didn't even know she was loose. She was just doing it. And it happened that way. So that was the fire. That was the mechanism of these students going out. I'm not taking any credit for it. They built it. It was written by them.
So awesome.
We did the whole thing. And then Erin got a hold of it, and we have to have a course for adults. I said, they don't listen.
Yeah.
And she goes, yes, they do. I'm going, okay. And she brought over a staff from, it just goes on. So we're really excited. Our board made a decision several months ago that we didn't want to just stop SACT, and I'm ready to kind of retire.
Yeah.
And so if it wasn't for God putting Chris Lesper in sync, and then Nate, and then Nate calls you, how did that happen? How did that happen? You're here in Austin right now, and you just recorded some wonderful voices, okay, that I couldn't be more proud of those people. They're the ones that took it. I just was the one
awesome.
that, sitting in the back room.
Well, so to go from that's a 10-year journey.
10-year journey.
10-year journey to get to here. What's something that you feel like Peggy, what would she say that you've learned over the last 10 years?
Whoa. I wish she was here to tell that, because she'd probably tell a different story. Certainly how my connection with God just grew so big, because it had to be. The pain that I was feeling could only be held by Him. And that's real clear. So my faith just went that much deeper. Every time I went into a different psalm, I was just it reeked. It was right there for me. And so being in church and making presentations at church became something, making presentations at Rotary clubs and at schools. But the biggest thing was just having students make their presentations.
Yeah.
And that's so Peggy would say that I've matured in the Lord, all right, because I've given my life to, He was the driver. In technology, I didn't think that way.
Yeah.
All
It's
right.
like, I know what I'm doing, I got it.
I got this. This one I didn't have, totally didn't have. And if it wasn't for Him taking me through it, because there were some spots that I didn't want to open.
What feedback have you had from peers? And let's say, we'll call it 8 years ago. So a couple years into the journey, these are people that are professionals. Maybe they've got grown children, they've got older kids, they've got resource, they're fine. What was some of the feedback from like everyday people that had no clue that this was even a thing?
It's not about me.
Yeah.
It's not about, not my family's fine. We know what we're doing. That's why I couldn't go back. See, Erin took it a different way. She went at a company, all right, where the parents were already there. And Cisco, like many other companies, have made a commitment to try to end child sex trafficking. And it became every organization out there had a statement. Their statement wasn't a statement of faith, it was a statement, we have to end this, all right?
Yeah.
That so you take a company like Cisco, which buys lots of products down line from China. Cisco executives were told all the way down that they have to get a letter signed by every one of their subcontractors that they don't have any of that happening on the production line.
Yeah, powerful.
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge. And that was, Trump made that law in his first presidency, and people had to respond to it, and they had to be compliant to it. So that became a level, that we could use. Hope that answered your question.
Yeah. I think about people that are like, my experience has been that the awareness, the education is catching up. But people still think I think people are still shocked to find out that it's happening in their state,
backyard,
let alone their city, let alone their town, right? Like, it's like, I think people are still kind of shocked at that. So you did experience both breakthrough with the kids that are on the front line, and there's still resistance from your peer group, just everyday people are like, I don't get it, I don't think that's the thing.
They don't want to talk about it, because it's not an easy, you're not going to start up a conversation at the breakfast table or even out, meeting with other people. But what is God doing in your life? Okay, He's led me to do this. It's Erin has every one of the people that you were blessed to meet, and them blessed to meet you, has a story.
Yeah.
And how they're bringing it, everyone said, here's how I brought it. George Lattimore said, how he did in the technology industry. He was one of the first people that joined us as a executive from a rather large company and said, let's go do this.
Yeah.
All right. And that was a tough call.
So we're here in Austin, 10 years in. The goal is that not only does this thing continue and keep making inroads into student groups and college groups and professional groups and the marketplace at large, that the message continues to go forward. There's goals and dreams that I think have come alive in me since what you guys have done is you've given us this incredible missing piece for a holistic approach to fight the problem. My goal when we started was I wanted to give people the ability, I wanted to give people the maybe the sense that I can do something about it. That's it. Because it's so huge that it's daunting to people's minds. So my thought was, how do I give people the feeling and the connection that I can't do everything. I've got wife, kids, family, job, school, whatever's going on. I can only do what I can do, but I can do something. And that was initially the thought. So we landed where we felt like we had influence, where we felt like we could maybe pull a lever and get some stuff to happen. But if you remember when I first started Run Against Traffic in 2018, it was, I'm gonna run, we're gonna talk about this in schools. And I, like you, was not allowed in schools. As I'm running across the state of Utah, schools are like, yeah, you can totally come on this big run. Like the news is talking about it. Runner's World did an article about it. Like I'm thinking, yeah, man, I'm not crazy. Like, let me just talk to the kid. All I really wanted to say was, pay attention. You guys are the first responders. You're gonna know what's going on with your teenage friends before anyone else. And I just wanted to be like, pay attention. I don't even know what to pay attention to, but you gotta pay attention. Like that's where I was. And they said yes, and then as I started running through the state, they started saying no, no, no. And I didn't get into one school. And I was suffering. I thought, hey, I'm struggling. Like, let me in. I'm paying a price for it. Like I'm not. This isn't easy. Like I'll suffer for it. You know. No. So the fact that now 10 years later, we are inheriting, like we are reaping where someone else has sown, and now there's this missing piece, and it's not us. Right. It's the generation of people reaching out. It's incredible, because now I go, well, thank you, God. Like, what an amazing thing that now we get to have some sense of a voice into schools. But for me, it's like I'm not going to fight necessarily to get into school, but we can get there. And so I have
one charity.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry, but
she's a gangster, dude. I was saying outside, I was like,
she's a gangster.
She just like does the stuff. And so in my mind, I go, okay, I've got visions and dreams now that I feel like are coming alive because you guys have given us this incredible gift. Let me ask you, as the founder and the originator of this God idea that you've stewarded for 10 years, let's say it's a year or 2 years or a few years from now. What are the fruits of this idea, this joining, this moment, where you would feel like Against Traffic did a really good job honoring the thing that you feel like? I mean, stopping trafficking, yeah, but like give me some tangibles of like, you know what? If we're doing this, I will feel really grateful that this thing kept going. And I would love for that just for your community and the people that care about you. They know your heart and your vision. How do we do right by what you've entrusted to us?
God's already made you take the first step.
Mm.
The next step is you to take another one and find the charities of this world in your own backyard, because they're at schools and they will eat the course up and they start protecting other people. One of the things that charity talks about all the time, all the students talk about all the time, is that they ran into somebody they didn't know, all right? They helped. Charity was carried by a group of students that she had connections with. When you were in high school, did you have a connection with 1,400 people? No. All right. Neither did she, but she carried something that was of information, and she drove that. The fact that we were able to capture her on film, that's a blessing. Or Aaron on film, or the others that were on film. And so I'm looking for, I'll give you a first 60-day deal. A phone call from you. Yeah. All right? Because this is not stopping. Yeah. That, hey, things are happening. Yeah. That you want to get into a Rotary Club, and I can tell you how to go there, because that's amazing. And as you go in through the summer season and you're getting ready, because these schools are required, the Catholic schools, this is a requirement. Wow. All right? They have this in Connecticut. Our high school course became a requirement, and the middle school became a requirement within all the districts underneath, So that's going to happen. That magic, God's going to carry that for you. I look forward to being invited back and saying, hey, we're going to have a big celebration and in your home state there, and then I'm looking forward to say, I'll match you. Let's go do this in Austin. Let's go do this in Jacksonville, and let's go do this in San Francisco and be home again, and just do a big deal like that.
That'd be awesome. Yeah. Well, I will say this on behalf of, wow, It's gonna miss me.
God is great.
Well, from us, I'm really honored. Thank you. Thank you for 10 years. Thanks for trusting us to do it. And we got the heart, but we need the grace of God. But I'm just so grateful, and thank you for this.
I'm very thankful that God played his hand out, and now we're seeing the fruit of all the labor that we took forward to give to you as a wonderful handoff, and the blessings that goes with that, and to the rest of your team and the people that you touch. You've got just a few people that follow you.
Yeah, man.
All right?
Yeah.
And when they know that they can go do something, that they can take this information and they go just, people would say, well, what's your course about? It's online, it's free, just go look at it, go take the course. My last thought, it's a charity, same thing. One of the students that took it, when he finished it, it was for the high school course. And I said, well, what are you going to do after you go, excuse me, he was at the University of Texas, and he just was finishing up. And I said, so what are you going to do after you graduate from UT? He goes, I want to go to law school. I go, really? What law school are you going to go to? And he said something very poetic, the one that accepts me. Right? And I said, Callum, how about if I take the 2-minute video that we just did of you, and I put it into a recommendation letter for you that you can send to all the law schools. You got a phone call or a letter 60 days later from Baylor University Law School accepting him.
Come on.
And thanking him for what work he did at Partners Against Child Trafficking today, and known as SACT. Carry it however you want.
Yeah, I love it.
But that's what's going to happen to you.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
I don't care if it's 3 a.m. and you phone me up and say, you'll never believe what happened. I went, yes, I will.
Yeah, I will. I've seen it. Yeah. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you,
I really, really appreciate you.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you.